Hello, hi. So very good afternoon. So this is Krishnaveni and we have been talking about the story of life on earth and that's biology. So welcome back to my session. So today is Thursday. So we are talking about a class 11 chapter. So once again, for all those who are new, so Monday, Wednesday and Friday I teach for class 12 and for the remaining 3 days, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday I teach for class 11. So that is our schedule. So in today's class 11 schedule, so we are starting a new topic here. That is the anatomical world of flowering plants. Yes, Manish Yadav. So Manish Yadav says, hey. And he was way before the class started, so I guess he's new to our session. So hello Manish. Yes, Priyanka. So very happy good afternoon. So done with your heavy lunch. So did you have a heavy lunch? And it is really tough to understand morpho anatomy after heavy lunch, right? Because it is not a it is not a chapter that is going to impress all of us. It is a chapter that's got to be a burden to all of us. Is that so? Yes, well, but we have no option but just to go through this. But still, I promise to make it interesting. So I won't bore you. I won't saturate you. So that I will teach for the continuous 1 hour. So we're just gonna see just a few introductory headings here, and then yes, we'll be done with the class. So we'll take another 3-4 lectures, maximum 3 lectures to finish this chapter. So after this, we'll start off with your structural organization in animals. All right. Hi, Priya Kumari. So thank you so much for joining my session. So guys, please do like, share and subscribe. So let your friends know that they have a free online platform on which they can learn the entire biology. All right. Yes, so if you want my PDF notes, you have to download eCareerPoint app. So if you download eCareerPoint app, so under that you have your free sessions. So you have your free courses. So please do find my course and there you'll find my PPTs. All right, Priya Kumari. Yes, Harini, good afternoon and thank you so much. So have you had your lunch? Yes. So where is Naveen? So Naveen, are you here? So you were asking me for a story. So let me know when you're here. So when you're here, I will tell you a story. All right? Yes. So we were done with morphology. So morphology took us almost 5 lectures and we were done with morphology completely. Now we are going to talk about anatomy. Is anatomy easy? If you ask me this question, I have no clue. Yes, for me it is easy because repeating it in each and every class. Yes, by now I am thorough with anatomy. Yes, good afternoon and thank you so much for joining my session. But there are certain logic when you have to talk about your root, your stem. It is not tough. The root is the same. Arrangement of the root is the same. In case of both your monocot and dicot, there is no much difference except 1 or 2 difference. Okay. So if you understand the logic that is hidden behind, if you understand the twist or catch, then yes, of course, your anatomy is very easy. Okay. When will physics class start? I really don't know when exactly it's going to start. But tentatively, yes, they are also planning for a physics class. Meanwhile, I can suggest you that there is a 100 days physics crash course going on. So you can try and join that. Yes, because I don't know when they are going to start physics class in this channel. All right. Hi, Pratyush. Hello. How are you? Good. Great. Thank you so much for joining my session, Pratyush. So please do like, share and subscribe my session. It is not reduced, so it was just a myth. So there is no reduction in your NEET syllabus. So we have to study the entire syllabus. Yes, of course, we have anatomy as well. All right, so we will look into anatomy. So we'll talk very slowly. So only if you understand, we'll move forward. All right. So Pratish, you're very good at typing, yeah. So a line you type so fast that it has come 5 times, or you just like you do that. Yes. The NEET syllabus is not reduced, but let's hope to finish the NEET syllabus. But there is one point, but it is that your NEET exam can be delayed, so which is a good thing. We might have some more time for preparation. So if at all you want to clear NEET in one go, so please do put in all your efforts and determination, because sometimes, yes, pushing your exam further back makes you more irritated, because how long you'll be studying the same morphology, anatomy, etc. So that is one point. Yes, I agree, because you have been studying since October, November till July. So it is a bit irritating. For how long will you study the entire syllabus? But on the other hand, if you're really determined, so just understand, so this is the one phase in your life where you're going to study just 2 books in biology and you're going to give it for your life. Yes. After that, you're going to study medicine and no one is going to ask you, hello, stop, read this, revise this. No. In medicine, you'll hardly have time to finish portions. So that is how it goes on. So please pay attention. So even if your NEET exam is delayed, it is not a point to worry about. It's a point to be happy about, because you have time for preparation as well. Okay. Yes, so please download eCareerPoint app. So if you download eCareerPoint app, it will ask you for a login. So please log in with your Google account. Okay, so once you go log in with your Google account, so in the panel below, so you will have your free courses. So go into free courses, there you will find English medium NEET target. So please click on that, and there you have all my YouTube video lectures. Okay, it is available in the PDF form. Fine. Ma'am, I have one problem, my 11th, my more chapters are not clear. So which are the chapters? So in 11th, we are left with your anatomy, we are left with your structural organization, then we are left with your biomolecules, plant physiology and human physiology. So we still have a lot of portions left in class 11. So if you have problem in these chapters, then hold on, I'm going to be very regular. So every day we are going to have class at 3 p.m. and I promise to complete the syllabus at least one round before your march. Alright, so that you can also have a complete understanding of what is going on, and then we can go ahead with revision. Yes, Pratyush, so what are the chapters you are facing problem in? Can you let me know? So what are the chapters? So is it plant physiology? Is it human physiology? So which one it is? Okay, so this is lecture 1 of anatomy of plants. Okay, so we're going to talk about anatomy. So I have an announcement. So today we have a Menti quiz, and today's Menti quiz is not at 7 but at 6:30 p.m. So please do subscribe my channel and hit on the bell button so that you will get a notification just half an hour before the class. So then you will be aware. Okay, because the time keeps changing according to the slot that is available. So please do press on the bell button so that you'll get a notification before half an hour of the session. Alright, yes, so you have a Menti quiz today at 6:30 p.m. and what is the topic? Inheritance of one gene and inheritance of two genes. Alright, so what is this basically? So one gene is your monohybrid cross, so it is based on your monohybrid cross, and two gene is based on your dihybrid cross. Alright, so please prepare that concept, how and what are the conclusions Mendel gave, because in yesterday's lecture we were talking about your Mendelian genetics and perfectly we discussed monohybrid and dihybrid crosses. So we are going to play for 15 questions, 20 seconds for each question. So guys, the agenda behind conducting Menti is that you get exposed to questions at the same time. It triggers you to think faster. So 20 seconds if you have to answer a question, imagine how fast you have to understand the question. First you have to read, you have to understand, and you have to also click on the answer. You have to read the options as well before answering. So which means I am giving you a practice indirectly to manage your time. So please do join my Menti. It is for your benefit and I have nothing to do. It's an extra load on me, but still I make sure I conduct at least one Menti in a week, and this week you're lucky you have 2 Mentis. So please make sure you participate in the Menti. It's not that you have to win, so winning and losing is a part of a game, but ultimately make sure you know the answer and you know how to tackle the problem. Yes, okay. Of course, you will have numerical based questions here. All right. Plant physiology and nervous system is remaining. All right. Okay. So we will start plant physiology very soon. So we might finish anatomy in 3 lectures. Then I'll take 3 lectures for your structural organization, 3 lectures for your biomolecules, and then I promise to start with your plant physiology. All right. And then last we'll go to human physiology, because human physiology is high weightage unit. All right. So in human physiology also your endocrine system, your neural system, that has more weightage, followed by your digestion. Yes, but your respiratory and your body fluids and circulation have a less weightage. All right. Yes, Anthony Abhi, good afternoon and thank you so much for joining my session. So it is very great. So guys, please do like, share and subscribe. So please don't forget to do that. Okay, I will take nervous system first. All right, done. So no problem. So as requested, I will take nervous system, but when I am starting human physiology, not before that. Before that, I want to finish off plant physiology, because plant physiology is a big obstacle where you guys will face. At least nervous system, at the end of the day, you will definitely study because you have interest in human physiology. But let me finish my plant physiology first. All right, Pratyush. But if you have any doubt, if you have read it once and if you have any doubt while solving questions, please get back to me, because in my description box you have a Telegram link for eCareerPoint. So please do join that group and there you can find me. My name is Krishna or Krishnaveni. So please do find me and please do ask the questions there so that I can get back to you. You don't have to wait for a long time. You can follow your own timetable. So please do get there so that I can answer your doubts, so that you will also be thorough. Don't wait for long. All right? Yes. Fine. So this is the announcement. So please do join my Menti at 6:30 p.m. All right. Okay, so what are the topics that we have to cover in anatomy? So first we'll talk about introduction. So why anatomy? So we have to know the flashback story. So we'll talk about why anatomy. All right, then we'll talk about the tissues, the permanent and the meristematic and the permanent tissues. Then the tissue system we'll talk about. The tissue system includes your epidermal, ground and your vascular system. Alright, so we'll talk about the tissue system in detail. So anatomy is the internal arrangement, the internal architecture of your flowering plants. So all of us know your plants, animals, all living organisms are made up of a superhero, that is your cell. Yes, a group of cell makes up a tissue and tissue makes up an organ, right? Yes, so we are going to start with cells. Okay, how cells together form tissues, and from that how tissues together form the tissue system. So it is a cohesive story. So we are going to build up on that story. Fine. So later we are going to talk about the anatomy of dicot and monocot plants, because there is where you'll find majority of the difference, that is the dicot and the monocot plant. Alright. So you will talk about dicot and monocot root, dicot and monocot stem, dicot and monocot leaf. Fine. So all these together they are called as the vegetative part of the plant, if you remember morphology. Yes, okay. Then we'll talk about the secondary growth in a plant, that is vascular cambium and cork cambium. Alright, so apart from that, so this is in case of your stem, and secondary growth in case of your roots we'll talk about. Okay, so in monocot roots, in monocot plants, there is no secondary growth, so it is easy. So here we are only going to talk about your dicot plants. Alright, so this is the lesson plan. So we'll try to finish till your meristematic tissue today. So since it's the first lecture, I don't want to saturate you with a lot of terms. So we'll just go in our own pace. We'll complete till meristematic. So meristematic has a lot of subcategories. It's not that meristematic is just one single definition. So we'll complete till meristematic, and then in the next class we'll go forward and finish your tissue system. Alright, so once if I give you an introduction to the story, then the story is interesting. So today it will be just an introduction. Alright. Yes, so ready to go into the chapter? Yes, so welcome to anatomy. So structural, so what is anatomy? So why should we study about anatomy? So we are done studying about your morphology. So what is the big deal to study about anatomy? So why should we study? Okay, so structural similarities and variations gives the external morphology of the larger living organisms, both plants and animals. Of course, we are different from plants, we are different from animals, but still a lot of variation arises from the structure. So structure can be either similar or it can also be having variations. Okay, so that puts together the external morphology. It's not that when I said we are going to talk about the anatomy of dicot, stem and root, so it's not that the dicot stem is completely different and the monocot stem is completely different, not at all. It just differs in one or two portions. All right, so that is what we are going to talk. We are going to equally talk about the similarity as well as the variations here. Fine. So the internal structure, that is the differences and similarities put together, we are going to study in this topic. The study of internal structure of plant, be it differences or similarity, is called as anatomy. Okay, so that is called as anatomy. So once again, so cells make up tissues and tissues make up organs. Yes, so cells, a group of cells make up cellular level organization. So we are done studying your animal kingdom, and then you have tissues. So tissues make up your tissue system, and then a group of tissue system makes up your organ, and group of organ makes up your organ system, which together makes up a complex organism. Right? So different organs in plants show differences in the internal structure. So different organs, for example, root shows a different arrangement, stem shows a different arrangement, leaf shows a completely different architecture. So though they are in the same plant, the arrangement and the architecture of each organ is pretty different. How different are they? How similar are they? So that is what we are going to explore in this chapter. Fine. So talking about the tissues, so what is a tissue? So group of cells having common origin. So how do you define a tissue? Yes, you can say cells make up tissue, but technically the definition of tissue is that it's a group of cells having common origin and they perform a common function. For example, if you take the cells of your liver, they are called as your hepatocytes, right? So hepatocytes are the cells of your liver. So they have a common origin. The common origin is your liver, and they all perform a particular function, the function of your liver, right? So they have a common function and they have a common origin. So that is how you define a tissue. So once again, tissue is a group of cells having common origin and perform common function. All right, yes. Please, I have a request. Please make your special group in Telegram for a doubt. Name of group. Wow, Krishnaveni Ma'am Army. Even I haven't thought about this name. Okay, fine. So more than having a group with so many members, you can text me directly in Telegram. I will get back to you with the doubts. So there are a lot of people here. So Priyanka used to ask me a lot of doubts. Naveen used to ask me. Keshav used to ask me. So that is better because your doubt, your way of understanding is different than others. So directly you can ask me. Either I will type the answer. If it's not possible to type, I will send you a voice note. Okay, so you can get your doubts clarified. So making group again takes a lot of time, and you know I don't use my phone very often. So when I come to Telegram, I just reply to the message. So again group, so when I open the group, when I see 180 messages, I quietly go back. I don't read any messages. So it's better you ask me. So I reply to your message and your doubt is clarified then and there. All right, Pratyush, yes? Okay, so great. So which means you have a lot of doubts. So please do get back to me. I'm ready to help you. Okay, so I will clear all your doubts in nervous system. You do not have to wait till I start nervous system. Fine. So when I start nervous system, yes, you can attend. So that will be a revision for you. But right now also I'm ready to solve your doubts. Fine. Okay. So plants are made up of different kinds of tissue. It's not that plants have only a single kind of tissue. Plants have many kinds of tissue. Okay. And tissues have a group of cells. Fine. So based on whether cells are formed, so based on whether the cells are capable of division or not, how it is being divided. So I told you you have different kinds of tissue. So on what basis the tissues are being divided? So on the first criteria is that whether the cells are being able to divide or not, whether the cells of that particular tissue are capable of division or not. So we have the first classification. All right. The first is meristematic tissue, the next one is permanent tissue. The cells of your meristematic tissue, they are capable of active division. So they are capable of active division, whereas permanent tissues do not divide. They are differentiated tissues. Once differentiated, you cannot divide, okay? Finally, they end up in a special lineage, in a special function, okay? They are differentiated tissues. Fine, is this clear? So now we'll talk about your meristematic tissue. So what is meristematic tissue? So restricted to specialized regions of active cell division. Wherever your plant is in demand of active cell division, there you have your meristematic tissue. So it is a tissue region where your cells are capable of very active division. So that is called as meristem. Alright, yes. So plants have different kinds of meristem. So under meristem also you have different kinds. So there are two groups. Which group I am in? So the one group which says career point. So with a black background and career point logo in white. So that is the group I am in. So where you have almost 7,000 people in the group. Okay, so that is the group I am in. All right. So are you a paid student of CP Live? If so, then I will also be in one of the groups. So you can find me by my name. Because, well, I don't remember. So now I am in a lot of groups. That is the problem. But I am there in the main group of Career Point. The link that is being shown here in my description box. So that group I am there. So you can get back to me in that group. Alright? Fine. So plants have different kinds of meristem. So meristems occur at the tips of roots and shoots. Okay, so roots, the growing tip of roots and the growing tips of shoots. So that is where your meristematic tissues occur. Alright, so they produce your primary tissues and they are called as apical meristem. So this meristematic tissue which occurs at the tip of your root or shoot and it produces the primary tissue is called as your apical meristem. Alright, so the first type of meristem. So once again plants have different kinds of meristem. Okay, so the first one is called as apical meristem. So what is apical meristem? The meristem that occurs at the tips of your roots and shoots and it forms your primary tissue, that is called as your apical meristem. Alright, the second one, the root. So under apical meristem you have certain types. Root apical meristem because it is found at the growing tips of your roots and shoots. Alright, so the root apical meristem occupies the tip of the root and the shoot apical meristem occupies distant regions of the stem axis. So obviously the root apical meristem is in the root and shoot apical meristem is in the shoot region, basically in the stem axis. Alright, the shoot apical meristem actually helps in the development of leaves and elongation of the stem. Okay, so some cells of the shoot apical meristem, they are involved in the development and the formation of leaves. So there are some cells which are left behind and they develop into axillary buds. Alright, so once again we are talking about your meristematic tissue. So what are meristematic tissues? So restricted to specialized regions of active cell division, that is your meristematic tissue. Alright, so plants show different kinds of meristems. So first type of meristem is your apical meristem. So how do you define apical meristem? So meristems that occur at the tip of roots and shoots, and it produces your primary tissue, that is called as your apical meristem. So since it is found at the growing tips of roots and shoots, it is also known as root apical meristem and shoot apical meristem. Fine. So in shoot apical meristem, some cells are left behind during the formation of leaf and the elongation of elongation of the stem. So those cells develop into your axillary bud. Alright. So such buds, the axillary buds, such buds are present in the axils of the leaves and they're capable of forming a branch or your flower. So what is the function of the axillary bud? It is capable of forming a branch or the flower. Alright. So this is your apical meristem. This is the structure of your root apical meristem. So if you remember the morphology, so we were talking about the root cap, the meristematic zone, then the zone of elongation and the zone of differentiation, right? So this is how it is, and this is your meristematic tissue. Fine. And this is your shoot apical meristem. So if you look here, you have axillary bud. So this is formed from the cells of your shoot apical meristem. During the formation of leaf and elongation of stem, some portion of your apical meristem is left behind, and that gives rise to an axillary bud. So what is the function of axillary bud? It helps in the development of a branch or a flower. So that is about your axillary bud. Alright, yes? Fine. So now we will talk about the next type of meristem. So first meristem that we spoke about is your apical meristem. The second meristem is that the meristem that occurs between mature tissues is called as intercalary meristem. So the first one was when your meristem occurs in the growing regions of your roots and shoots, it is called as apical meristem. So here when it occurs between mature tissues, it is called as intercalary meristem. Alright. So it occurs in grasses and it regenerates parts removed by the grazing herbivores. So that is the function of your intercalary meristem. Okay. Sometimes your cow, when it's grazing on a grass, it will only feed on the top layers of the grass, right? It will not pull the grass from the roots sometimes, right? So there it will help to regenerate the roots past, and what plays a role here? That is your intercalary meristem. Alright. So both your apical meristem and your intercalary meristem together, they are called as primary meristems. Alright, so once again your apical meristem and your intercalary meristem together, they are called as primary meristems. Alright, so these appear in the early life of plant and hence help in the primary plant body development, and hence they help in the primary plant body development. Yes, is this clear? So once again, so what are the different types of meristems that we saw? The first type of meristem that we saw was your apical meristem, that is found in the growing tips of your roots and shoots. The next type that we saw is your intercalary meristem, that is present between your mature tissues. Alright. So moving forward to the secondary meristem. So primary meristem is done. So now we are talking about your secondary meristem. So meristem in mature regions of roots and shoots of many plants produce woody axis. So once again we are talking about the secondary meristem here, and the primary meristem is done. So once again primary meristem is apical meristem plus intercalary meristem. Alright. So what is the secondary meristem? So meristem in mature regions of the root and shoot of many plants, they produce woody axis. Fine. So they appear later, at a period after the development of your primary meristem, and they are called as secondary or lateral meristems. So the primary was your apical or your intercalary meristems. The secondary or lateral meristems is the one that is produced from the mature regions of root or shoot, which produces an woody axis. Alright, yes, and this secondary or lateral meristem, they are cylindrical in structure. So example is your vascular cambium. interfascicular cambium and cork cambium. So these are the examples of your secondary meristem. So once again, what are the examples of your secondary meristem? So fascicular vascular cambium, interfascicular cambium and cork cambium. So what is vascular? So what is the vascular system of your plants? It is your xylem and phloem. Right? So fascicular vascular cambium, interfascicular cambium and cork cambium. So they are examples of your secondary meristem. Alright. So they are responsible for producing your secondary growth. Yes. So this is your fascicular cambium. Yes, cambium is the structure that is present between your xylem and phloem. So that is your fascicular cambium. And what is interfascicular? The space between your two xylem phloem compartment is called as interfascicular cambium. So these come under the secondary meristem. Alright. So once again, primary meristem is your apical and intercalary. Your secondary meristem or lateral meristem refers to the secondary growth that is produced from the mature regions of your shoot and root of many plants, and that produces an woody axis. Alright. Yes. Fine. So talking more about your lateral meristem. So can you see these are the interfascicular cambium? Yes. And here you have your vascular cambium. So this is your vascular bundle. So you have your xylem here, you have your cambium here, and you have your phloem here. Alright. And this is the space between your two vascular bodies. So that is your interfascicular cambium. Alright. So the examples are important for your secondary meristem and your primary meristem. Alright. Yes, if you can see, this is your vascular cambium, this is your cork cambium. So these are your secondary developments. Alright, fine. So once again, summarizing what are the types of meristems and what are the things that we saw so far. So meristematic tissue is divided into apical meristem, then intercalary meristem, and then lateral meristem. So apical meristem and intercalary meristem are called as primary meristem, whereas lateral meristem is also known as your secondary meristem. Okay, so once again, under your apical meristem, you have two types. What are the two types? One is shoot apical meristem and the other one is root apical meristem. So this is found in the growing regions of your stem axis, and this is found in the growing regions of your root axis. Alright, so this is about your apical meristem. So what is intercalary meristem? When your meristem is found between your mature tissue, it is your intercalary meristem. Alright, yes. So what about lateral meristem? So they are found, they arise from the mature roots and shoots that give rise to an woody axis. Alright, so that is about your lateral meristem. Yes, is meristematic tissues clear? Yes, so shall we move on to permanent tissue? Yes, meristematic tissue is clear. So today what happened? People are sleeping, people are drowsy after heavy lunch. Is that so? It is not yet weekend. So have school started for everyone? Have you people started going to school? So you're enjoying school? Is that so? So day by day the response is reducing. So which means you people are very busy. Is that so? Keshav is missing today. Maybe he went to school back. Alright. So once again, further adding on to your secondary meristem, so cells divide to form your primary meristem and they further form your secondary meristem. So initially cells will divide to form, because meristematic cells are capable of active division, your cells will first divide to form your primary meristem, further they divide to form your secondary meristem as well. Yes, the newly formed cells become structurally and functionally specialized. Okay, so the newly formed cells from this, they become structurally and functionally specialized. So now they lose the ability to divide and they are called as permanent or mature cells. So initially you have a group of cells. These cells divide so that they form your primary meristem. Alright, so once they become mature, they give rise to what is known as your secondary meristem. Fine. So after the secondary meristem, you have new cells formed because cells actively divide. So after the secondary meristem, the new cells that are formed become structurally and functionally specialized. So these cells are pretty common. But now after secondary meristem, the cell decides, okay, I will go to this part of the plant. I will go to this part of the plant. I will become specialized root cells. I will become specialized vascular bundles. So when it takes up a particular responsibility, specialized responsibility, and when they lose the ability to divide, it is called as permanent or mature cells. Alright. So permanent or mature cells, they do not divide. Now, we are going to talk about the permanent tissue. So, during the formation of primary blunt bodies, specific regions of apical meristems produce dermal tissues, ground tissues and vascular tissues. Okay, so permanent tissue is another type of tissues which do not divide. So, we'll be talking about permanent tissues shortly. But before that, remember, so during the formation of your primary plant body, that is with the help of your primary meristems, the specific regions of your apical meristem produces 3 types of tissue systems. So what are the 3 types here? One is dermal tissue, the other one is ground tissue, and the third one is vascular tissue. So you should remember where these tissues arise from. They arise from the specific regions of apical meristem. Alright? Yes. Yes, so this is the structure. So from here you have all the 3 tissue systems. Fine. So now let's talk about your permanent tissues. So are you guys sleeping or are you guys awake? Yes, I have a good up and rise in watching, but still, so whoever is watching, are you sleeping? Yes, I believe you guys had a heavy lunch and you're feeling asleep. Is that so? How many of you are dozing off right now? What's happening? So you people are least interested in plant botany? Sorry, botany. So botany is plants. Yes. You always like to talk about genetics. You like to talk about human physiology. Is that so? Yes. I guess you guys had a heavy lunch. So what is so special about today? Yes, let me know. So even I would have taken off, right? If you people are not interested in watching, then even I would have taken off. So is it that you watch my recorded lecture? Yes. Alright, so we'll talk about the permanent tissue. So cells of this tissue do not divide anymore. So that is why they are called as permanent tissue. So how are they being divided? This is how they are being divided. So first, permanent tissue cells are similar in structure and function. They are called as simple tissues. So permanent tissue is another class of tissues which do not divide any further. So under permanent tissues, you have 2 types. When the cells are similar in structure and function, it is called as simple tissues. Alright. When the cells of this tissue are similar in structure and function, it is called as simple tissues. Alright. When they have different types of cells, it is called as complex tissues. So when the cells are of the same size and structure and function, it is simple, and when it is different, it is called as complex tissue. Alright, so these are the 2 types of your permanent tissue. This is how it looks. Simple tissue, so all the cells are the same. Complex tissue, each one is different. Alright, so now we'll talk about your simple tissue today, and complex. So complex is only 2 things. So complex tissue is of 2 types. One is your xylem, the other one is your phloem. So this is your complex tissue. Your simple tissue is of 3 types, that is parenchyma, colonchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, colonchyma and sclerenchyma. Alright, so complex tissue is xylem and phloem. In xylem you have 4 elements, in phloem you have 4 elements, right? So that is why it is complex, whereas parenchyma, colonchyma, sclerenchyma are simple tissues. So now we'll talk about parenchyma, colonchyma and sclerenchyma. Alright, so simple tissues, they have only 1 type of cells. 1 type of cell. Alright, so various simple tissues in plants are parenchyma, colonchyma and sclerenchyma. Fine? Yes. So here we are going to talk about your parenchyma. So parenchyma is a simple tissue. So where is the location of your parenchyma? So which part of the plant it is present? I know it is a permanent tissue, but still where it is present? It is a major component within the organs. So what are the organs of your plants? You have your stem, you have your root, you have your leaf. So these are the organs of your plants. Alright. So parenchyma is produced or present within those organs. So how are the cells? The cells are isodiametric. Iso is same, so they all are having equal diameter. Okay, if this has a diameter like this, the other cell will also have the same diameter. So that is why the design of the cell is isodiametric. Alright, so how is the shape of your parenchyma? It is spherical, oval, round, polygonal, elongated in shape. Fine. So walls, how are the walls of the cell? They are thin and they are made up of cellulose. So this is very important. So parenchyma have a thin wall and they are made up of cellulose. Okay, but how are they arranged? So closely packed or sometimes small intercellular spaces are present. So once again, if you have cells like this, these might be closely packed or sometimes there might be intercellular spaces. Excuse me. So parenchyma is the only group of cells that have intercellular spaces. So once again, this is an important question. Alright. So function, so the function of your parenchyma is that it helps in photosynthesis and it helps in storage and secretion. So you should remember the function, you should remember the location, and you should remember that it has intercellular spaces. Alright, so that is all about parenchyma. So once again about parenchyma. So parenchyma is a simple tissue. The location of your parenchyma is a major component within organs. So what are the organs? Stem, root and leaf. So how are the cells? The cells are isodiametric, meaning they have equal diameter. Each cell has the same diameter. So shape of the cell, it's spherical, oval, elongated, round, polygonal, etc. Then walls, the walls of your parenchyma are thin but they are made up of cellulose. How are they arranged? They are arranged very closely or sometimes you have intercellular spaces. Fine. What is the function? The function is photosynthesis, storage and secretion. Alright. So this is how your parenchymatous cells are arranged. Yes, so they are spherical, oval, elongated, etc. Yes, the wall is very thin. Sometimes they are densely arranged. Sometimes you have intercellular spaces. So these are the intercellular spaces. They have a cytoplasm, they have a nucleus, etc. So this is the arrangement of your parenchymatous cells. Fine. I'm totally depressed. I don't know whether I can crack NEET or not. Okay, so if you're depressed, you will definitely crack NEET. Is that so? So NEET exam will know, okay, so Ashli is depressed, so I should not make her more depressed, so I should let her crack NEET. Is that going to happen? Come on, close your book for some time. Just relax, go watch a movie. Yes, there are a lot of movies out now and the theaters are open. Just go out, spend a day for yourself and then get back to the books. It's not that every day you have to sit with the books. So what are you going to gain sitting with the books every day? Yes, so once again in the last class, in Saturday's class also I told you, there is no point working hard. You have to work smart. Even if you study for 1 hour, that 1 hour should be efficient. There is no point if you study for 9 hours and nothing enters your brain. So please don't waste time. At least enjoy your day. So whole day if you didn't study anything. So now it's say it is almost 4 o'clock. Okay. So what did you do since morning? You were just depressed. You did not enjoy your meal. You did not enjoy your time. So what did you do at the end of the day? Nothing. So just close your book if you're depressed. It's okay. Give it some rest. Even your NEET exam also needs some rest. Okay. You are a human at the end of the day. You're not a robot. You're not a machine. So relax, it's okay, it happens with everyone. So even when I was preparing for exam, I was depressed, I was frustrated, I was irritated that I never wanted to study again. It happens with everyone, yes, so don't worry, it's fine, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's not that always you should study whatever you plan, it's not that always you should be on top, it's okay. If you're always on top, how will you know how life is when you are at the bottom? Life at the bottom is also beautiful as long as you're happy. You completed 1 chapter, right? Please be happy. So look at the positive side of yourself. Why are you looking at the negative side? You completed 1 chapter. So which chapter is that? Let us know. I will tell you the weightage of the chapter. Come on, tell me. Yes. So why are you worrying? So people around you are achieving so many things. So just look around yourself, how many people are actually smiling. So it does not matter. So let me tell you, now your frustration is all about clearing NEET. So if you clear NEET, will you be definitely happy? Will you not ask anything else? Of course you will ask. So now when you get in, when you clear NEET, then you will pray for a good admission. Yes. So once you get into college, there you will play for a good hostel room. There you will play for a good friends. Yes. Then there you want to enjoy, but there also you will have your semester patterns. There also you will have your records, etc. Everything. Yes, practicals, etc. So for each exam, again, you will get stressed. So what are you running after in life if you don't enjoy? So everywhere you have stress. Yes, even I have stress preparing for all the classes in a day. But at the max, if I don't enjoy in each class, then yes, I am not living my life purposefully. I am just running behind something. Yes, so that should not be. So you have completed body fluids and respiration. Yes, that is a chapter which has 2% weightage. Yes, that is your circulation, right? Good. So you're thorough with your cardiac cycle. It is not a very easy chapter. So you have understood that. You have solved questions. So please be happy. Why are you depressed? It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Fine. Just relax. So by worrying, by depression, nothing is going to happen. Just relax and look into what you can do. All right? Yes. Yes, see, Anthony Abhi is encouraging you. Very good. Yes, you have completed a chapter which even we don't know. Good, great. Okay, so please don't feel depressed. Fine. So this is about your parenchymatous cell. So next is your colonchymatous cell. So where is your colonchymatous cell present? Present in layers below the epidermis in your dicots. Okay, in your dicots you have an outer layer called as epidermis. So just right below that layer you have your colonchymatous cells. It is found in a homogeneous layer or in patches. Okay, you have identical layers of colonchymatous cells or it is present in patches. Alright. So cells are thickened at the corners. So once again the cells in colonchyma were thin. Okay, the cell wall was thin, but here it is thickened at the corner and you have deposition of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin. Alright, so this is only in case of your colonchyma. So what is the shape of the cells? It is oval, spherical or polygonal or often contain chloroplast. So colonchyma, C, so remember chloroplast. Fine. So you have intercellular spaces are absent here. So intercellular spaces are only specific to your parenchyma. Alright. So function, so what is the function of your colonchyma? It provides mechanical support to the growing parts of plant cells like your young stem and the petiole of your leaf. So in case of parenchyma, it was your photosynthesis, storage and secretion. In case of colonchyma, it is the mechanical support to the growing parts of your plants. Alright. So this is how your colonchymatous cells will look like. So here, how are they? They are again oval, but they are very, very thickening. They have very, very thickened at the corners, right? And there is no intercellular space. It is very densely packed. So this is the structure of your colonchymatous cells. So why do they have heavy thickenings at the walls? It is because of the deposition of cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin. All right? Fine. So the last type of your simple tissue, that is your sclerenchymatous tissue. So they are long, narrow cells. So your parenchyma and colonchyma were round, oval cells, but these are long, narrow cells with thick and lignified cell walls. So lignified is due to the deposition of a substance called as lignin, alright. So they have thick and lignified cell walls having numerous pits. Fine. So pits are small openings or spaces. So they are called as pits. So here the cells are dead without a protoplasm. So your colonchymatous cells and parenchymatous cells are live cells, whereas your sclerenchymatous cells are dead cells. Alright. So function, again it provides mechanical support to the organs. So on the basis of variation in the form, structure, origin and development, the sclerenchymatous cells are divided into fibers and sclerids. Alright. So your sclerenchyma is further divided into fibers and sclerids on the basis of the form, structure, origin and development. Fine. Is this clear? So once again your sclerenchymatous cells are long and narrow cells. Okay. They have thick and lignified cell walls having numerous pits. Fine. So pits are small openings or pores. They are dead without protoplasm. So they are basically your dead cells. Fine. Then function, it is to support, it is providing mechanical support to the organs. Then on the basis of your structure, origin and development, the sclerenchymatous cells are further divided into fibers and sclerids. Alright. So this is the difference between fibers and sclerids. So talking about your fibers, they are thick-walled, elongated and pointed cells. Okay, so something like this. So they are pointed at both the end and of course they are thick-walled and elongated ones. So how are your sclerids? So remember, sclerids are spherical. Yes and S. They are spherical, oval shape. So this is elongated, right? But this is spherical, oval or cylindrical and it is highly thickened dead cells. They have narrow cavities which is called as lumen. So once again that is thick-walled, elongated and pointed cells, whereas this is spherical, oval or cylindrical and they have highly thickened dead cells, narrow cavities called as lumen. Alright. So they occur in groups in various parts of the plants. Here they are found in the fruit wall of nuts. Again, this is a repeated question. So where are sclerids found? In the fruit wall of your nuts. So example, in the pulp of fruits like your guava, sapota, pear, and in the seed coat of your legumes of leaves and tea. So they are found in the seed coat of your legumes and in the leaves of tea. So there also you have your sclerids. So looking into the structure of your sclerids and fiber. So once again, a fiber is an elongated cell. Okay, it is elongated and it is pointed. So sclerids are spherical, oval, etc. Yes, they have a narrow lumen here, and the lumen is called and the narrow cavity is called as a lumen here. Yes, and this opening is called as pits. Though they have pits as well and they have lumen as well. So this is a sclerid and this is a fiber. A sclerid is found in the fruit wall of your nuts, etc. In the pulp of your fruits like your guava, pear, sapota. They are also found in the seed coat of your legumes and in the leaves of your tea. Yes, is this much clear? So we are done with the simple tissues of your permanent. Broad classification is permanent tissue. So under that we are done with your simple tissues. In the next class we will talk about your complex tissues, that is xylem and phloem. Alright. So a small summary of the simple tissues. So once again, parenchymatous tissue. So parenchymatous tissue are found within the organs. Their major function is photosynthesis, storage and secretion. Yes, they have thin cell wall and it is made up of cellulose. They have intercellular spaces. Whereas your colonchymatous cells, they do not have your intercellular spaces. They have thick deposition in the corners. That is because of the deposition of hemicellulose, cellulose and pectin. Yes, and what is their function? Mechanical support to the growing parts. So the last one is sclerenchyma. So sclerenchyma is a dead tissue. So under sclerenchyma we have two types. One is fibers and the other one is sclerids. Alright. So fibers are elongated ones and sclerids are round ones with pits and lumen. So what is the function? Again, mechanical support. Alright. Yes. So with this we are done with your simple tissues. Yes, and the chapter is to be continued. Alright, so I hope you understood whatever I taught today. It was just an introductory lecture. So in the next class, we'll go much deep and talk about the tissue system. First, we'll complete the complex tissue. Then we'll talk about your dermal tissue, ground tissue and your vascular tissue. Alright, so in between, I'll try to add on some questions so that the class becomes interesting. Alright. Fine. So if you genuinely like my session and if you understood something out of it, so please do like, share and subscribe, and please do join for my mentee at 6:30 p.m. Alright. Yes. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for being a lovely audience. Yes. And bye and take care. Bye-bye.